I am joined from Western Japan by the great James Corbett of the Corbett Report, well known to many listeners of this podcast, I know, because many of them have told me about you. And I was unaware of your work until a few months ago. And one of my good friends said, you've got to get this guy on your show. You got to get this guy on your show. And I finally got around to watching your stuff and reading your stuff. And, you know, people, the short take on you is that you're a conspiracy theorist. And my short take on you is that you're a conspiracy theorist. Now, here's the thing, James. Guess who else is a conspiracy theorist? Right here, me. Because you and I agree on something very fundamental, which I think is really the basis of your work, which is that the biggest and most important conspiracies are all open, right? And you call your work open source intelligence news, right? Now, can you explain that? I think I know what it means, but I would love for you to give a full explanation of what that means. I think it's actually like the most important thing to explain about your work.
Yeah. I agree. And that's why it is the tagline of my website. And it has been since it was founded in 2007. So when I was first coming up with the idea of starting a website in late 2006, early 2007, it was at that time that I was encountering some information. And I believe there was specifically a Washington Post article that I read at that time that I actually included in the About section on my website way back in the day. It's not there anymore, but it was specifically about the concept of open source intelligence and the fact that the CIA and other intelligence agencies gather the vast majority of their information from open sources, not the James Bond sleuthing Hollywood version of intelligence gathering, but by looking at open sources. And back in the day, of course, that was radio, television, newspaper, magazine, kind of print and broadcast material. But in the online age, it's online material. And in fact, probably even more so in the online age than back in the day when they were intercepting Russian radio transmissions or what have you. No, now you can go online and you can access an incredible amount of information. And I thought, why not apply that in an open source investigation that we can all crowdsource information and put it together and lay out the dots. And rather than sitting there on some sort of high horse and saying, please believe me about this. No, we're in the internet age. I can link you to source documents that I think back up what I'm saying, but you can go and look for yourself. And that is the very founding ethos and principle that my work is based upon. It was there from the very inception. The first thing I thought when I was thinking about putting together a podcast was, I'm going to have a documentation list. And every time I talk about a document, an article, a video, whatever, I'm going to link people to it because why not? We're in the internet age. It shouldn't have been a revolutionary idea. But back in 2007, when I started the site, there were still profoundly few people who were doing that. So if my work does nothing else, I hope inculcating that idea in the audience that it is important for people to actually back up what they're saying with sources should be just the basic ground level of the work that I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's even bigger and better than that, though. Your evidence is so compelling and persuasive because I think the most important evidence you deploy is simply elite people saying what you say they're saying. It's you have, or have them saying the opposite of what they're saying, but you have them saying the thing on camera or in writing with their name on top of it. I mean, a lot like you did this whole analysis of Joe Biden's ghost written recent article in the Foreign Affairs, right? Well, that's Foreign Affairs Journal. It's the CFR, Council on Foreign Relations Journal. Everyone knows about it. That's your whole episode was devoted to just an analysis of that very, very open document. But am I right that like the best evidence that you have, the most persuasive and compelling, the stuff that you really hang your arguments on is actually the elites saying things directly in a public forum, right?
100% correct. And in fact, I wear as a badge of honor, one of the best pieces of criticism that I ever saw leveled against my work was on my Century of Enslavement, History of the Federal Reserve documentary. Someone remarked at one point, but this is basically just, Federal Reserve material and Federal Reserve documents that you're talking about. I'm like, yes, exactly. Yes, it is. Exactly. Right. That's exactly right.